All right, now that I've got the materials in the bin that I want to have in there to begin the compost process, and mind you, I'll fill this all the way up in this same manner, but once I've got the dry materials and the wet materials from the kitchen scraps, I like to try to mix it and mix in a little bit of the semi-composted material that I had sifted out, and I mix it to get everything mixed, but also because the kitchen scraps are very moist, and so I want to make sure that they're not overly moist, otherwise it'll stay anaerobic, and I want it to go aerobic. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just basically mixing it around so that I can get that material somewhat drier than it is. And what it also does is it mixes in the material that I had in there from before, which has those now dormant microorganisms that do the composting for us. And so that begins the process. Frankly, the process begins in the compost bins themselves, or the kitchen scrap composting bins. That process begins because I use finished compost in the bin, I should say in the bucket. And these buckets I use in turn to put the compost material or the kitchen scraps in there, and that begins the process. It'll fill up, and as those microorganisms begin to work on the material, this begins the compost. Once I combine it with the other materials and get it in the right amount, that bee loves me.